Facebook is done. Why I think Facebook is done is because of two major reasons. They haven't established themselves as a proper platform. They say that they are a town square kind of platform, which means that they shouldn't be censoring anybody. But they censor people. So it's definitely not a town square. That means that they're a publisher. Now, there's differences in the legalities of both. If you're a publisher, then you have complete control over what's on your platform. But as a result, also, that means you also have complete culpability for anything that's on your platform. So if someone gets offended, or if there's some sort of information that causes harm or whatever on a public square, then unfortunately, nobody can get in trouble for it. The platform itself is open. It's an open platform, so anybody can come and go and leave their information as they wish. That's what Facebook is supposed to be. And that's what they claim that they are. However, the fact that they ban and censor shows that they are a publisher rather. Now, if they're a publisher, then that means that they have to pay for all of their stories. That means that they have to pay for all the people that are on the website, the billions of people that are adding content to the website. That means all of those people get paid. That means everything that ever has been an issue or any lawsuit that's come against the information that's on the website, that means that they're liable for that as well. That means that they will literally go out of business based on their own fucking practice. So this is only a matter of time, in my opinion, guys, because one of two things has to happen. One of those has to happen. Either Facebook has to be considered a platform, a publishing platform, or it has to consider itself an open platform. If it's an open platform, this is the best opportunity for everyone. It's the best for Facebook, and it's the best for the users. Now, if Facebook's going to continue to work, it's got to work for its users, but it's not working for its users. It's working for Facebook. That's the thing. Facebook has gotten to this point where it's so big that it's so entitled in what it's allowed to do that it actually thinks that that's the way it is. And it forgets, this is their problem, they forget that the people that are using the website are the only reason why the website exists. And as a result, when people stop using the website, Facebook will no longer have any power. It will no longer have the entitlements that it does. It will no longer stay up to scrutiny, and it will ultimately either have to be considered a publisher or a platform in order to move forward. I personally am at the point where I don't use Facebook at all anymore, and I'm basically getting to the point where I'm no longer going to be using Facebook at all. I think it's a dead platform. I think it's a shitty platform. I think it could have been great. It was great. It was awesome when we used it for what it was for. But I think it's a failed experiment at this point. I think it's more of like if anything, we could use it as a directory of people, so to speak. It's just a third-party directory of people where you can interact and engage with them. That's basically how I look at Facebook now. So it has no draw to me anymore. It has I have no real reason to jump into Facebook or to check my updates or any of that stuff. Sure, I'm missing out on like my nieces and nephews and pictures of them and family and all that stuff. And that's the only real reason that I continue to use Facebook, is just to catch up on those aspects of things. But that's not the majority of my time. And I tell you this, I used to use Facebook for a lot of good things, and now I just don't use it at all. It's basically pointless to me, other than to interact with a few people here and there and to just be part of a conversation. And honestly, I'm part of a lot of conversations. I don't feel that there's any real need for me to be out on the conversation spectrum anymore. I think it's kind of it's passé in my mind. We've gotten to this point where Facebook has interacted with the dichotomy, or like with the landscape of Facebook so much, and they politicize everything so much that it's just not even fun to use the site anymore. Imagine getting put into Facebook jail for 30 days because you said something that shouldn't have bem said. That's thought policing right there. I'm sorry, and I don't want to be a part of any platform or any experience that actively polices thoughts and ideas and expression. The beauty part about Facebook was that anybody could express themselves, their true selves. And you could even create groups and places that like-minded individuals could meet together and have conversations and interact. This is no longer the main draw of Facebook. Now Facebook has gotten itself so muddy into the waters of dirt and the swamp of politics that it is now just a shit box. It really is. same with Twitter and same with all these other programs or applications that are run by politically motivated people. I don't know. I don't care Mark Zuckerberg's politics. I really don't. I don't think anybody does for the most part. And that's why we're able to use Facebook without really considering it. But unfortunately, Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg. And so Mark Zuckerberg's politics do force their way through the system. And I just don't want to have anything to do with that. I'm sorry. It's just, sorry. So I'm at this point right now where I think that the only way to move forward is to have a new competitor come to life. Minds.com is definitely a worthy competitor. We'll see where that goes. But it's being stifled by behemoths like Facebook. People are still actively using Facebook. People are still using Twitter. I think that those people, once they get dislodged from, when they get to the point where I am, they're no longer going to use those platforms, and maybe they will decide to go to a platform like Minds. But what I think really is going to happen is the next couple of years are going to be a kind of a quieting down of social media, because people are going to say, you know what, fuck Twitter and fuck Facebook. I'm done with those platforms. And you know what? I really don't need a new platform. I'm so sick of those platforms who turn my idea about social media so sour. I don't even want to join another one, even if it is better. Because it'll just probably end up like the other ones anyway. The bigger something gets, then it becomes to a point where there's too many people fighting it. There's too many haters. There's too many people complaining and whatever. That's what happens. This is ultimately what happens with companies like Facebook and YouTube and things like this, where they just start pandering to people. Instead of fighting people, they just start changing policies. And that becomes part of the corrupt policy itself. It's like, oh, we have special interest groups who complaining that we need to censor this. Okay, well, we censored it because we don't want to fight them anymore. We have millions of cases of people trying to fight us for some stupid shit. So we're just going to give in. That's basically ultimately, I think, what is happening with these big tech companies, YouTube specifically, is that they just got to the point where they're like, you know what? We don't have enough people to litigate these fucking issues anymore. Let's just give in. It's so much easier to just give in, all right? It is. You think about relationships, like, think about your lover. It's when that lover is giving you a hard time, it's just easier to just say yes, dear, yes, mom, yes, dad, yes, whatever. I'll just give in. It's so much easier to give in than it is to fight something, because once you start fighting something, then you get caught up in it. So it's just easier sometimes to just say, I go with it, blah blah blah. But that's what's happening too much. I think too many people are just going with it, and now we've gotten to this point where we're all like rudderless. We're all like, where the fuck are we right now? We stopped looking at directions, hundreds of miles back, and now we're completely lost. We were consumed with, having fun using the platform for whatever. But now we're in this new territory. Socially, we're in this new territory where, I don't know. I don't think the majority of the stuff that you see on Facebook anymore is even legit anymore, because people are so overly used to, like, you put something out like, oh, I put this feeling out. Now somebody's going to complain. Now someone's either going to complain and get me knocked off of the system, or my shit censored, or at very least, I'm going to have a whole bunch of fucking pigeons, trolling me and giving me a hard time and making, changing people that I love's perspective about me because of this kind of situation. Now, it's just not worth it for me. I'm sorry. And it's really not worth it? It's really not worth it that out of all of this, Facebook is making billions of dollars off of its users. Because by having a base of users that's over 1 billion, that's a huge avenue for revenues on marketing and advertisements and all of this type of thing. Now, if Facebook thinks that that's the most important aspect, is just to pander to its fucking advertisers, and same with YouTube, they're doing the same exact thing. When they pander to these advertisers, of course, it's going to change the objective of the company. It's going to change the face of the landscape, and before you know it, we're going to have something that's so artificial. That's what Facebook is nowadays. It's just artificial. Anybody that posts something on Facebook has already censored their own fucking stuff. And so they're putting out little lollipop stories and fucking stuff that doesn't matter anymore. And not that much of the stuff on Facebook ever really did matter, but now more than ever, it doesn't matter. When politicians are getting their whole entire speech just knocked down because Facebook doesn't like that politician. Like, look at what they did in Italy right now. In Italy's elections, Facebook has blocked the profiles of 23 candidates. I'm sorry, that's where we have to draw the line, guys. We literally have to draw the line now. We need to step away from this platform and stop giving it. Because by being on the platform, we're just allowing it to grow and to do the fucked up things that it's doing. Like, we're giving Facebook its power, and yet we're not able to control its power. This is a loss. This is a losing ratio. Okay, when you give away everything, which is like what we're doing with our constitution as well, is we're giving away our rights, we're giving away our privileges, we're giving away our power, and we're not getting anything in return for it. How long can we do this? How far can it go? I don't see much left on that line. I don't see it going much further. I personally can't stand Facebook because anytime that I talk to someone, I can guarantee that someone's going to complain or give me a hard time or, mischaracterize me, or they're just not going to be fucking real because they're worried about pandering themselves. They're worried about thought police and people calling them out for their thoughts. So of course, no one's actually talking realistically anymore. Nobody's actually doing like, the conversations have now become just superficial, artificial conversations of nothingness. That's where Facebook is now. And same with Twitter for the most part. With the exception of some news stories here and some key people to follow. Other than that, these platforms are basically just hollow fucking shells of something that could have been great. And now they're not. They're not because people are corrupted. People like Mark Zuckerberg and all these other company owners and tech people, they're all corruptible. Everyone is corruptible. You're a human being, you're corruptible. In fact, you may be already corrupted. You don't even know it. That's how fucked up it is. That's how fucking easy it is to be corrupt. Okay? It's very easy to corrupt people. Look at what the Democrats are trying to do right now. They're trying to corrupt people to bring them across the border. If these people come across the border because they're hungry and tired and scared and they want a fucking good life, okay, great, I understand that. But the Democrats are basically sticking them here, which means that they're corrupting them. They're using their own level of corruption to corrupt these new would-be immigrants into our country. We can't have that. That can't be allowed because it undermines the whole concept. It undermines our structure altogether. And so they're using all these avenues against us, the American people and people of the world, good, loving people. We just want to be able to have honest conversations and have, open communication. But there's too many people out there that have used and weaponized, free speech against us. And this is where this is the heart of the issue. So fuck you, Facebook, because you're part of the game. You're part of it. And screw you, YouTube. You're part of it. All these companies, they can go screw off. Really. I'll use them until I no longer have any need for them because that's why they exist. I can say fuck you, Facebook, all the time and still use it as my main communication app, and that won't change my thoughts. It won't change anything because at the end of the day, Facebook is built off of what I bring and what people like me bring to their fucking platform. Anybody every extra person that uses Facebook, that's another set of advertisers that they can capitalize. That's another way they can expand their website. And if you don't see it that way as a consumer or a user of that site or those sites, then you're seeing it from a completely inverse perspective. And that inverse perspective is going to drive people crazy over the years. And that's kind of where I see it today. So the other reason Facebook is going to end up dying is because that once people get, like I said before, there's two things that are going to happen. Facebook's going to have to choose whether it's a platform or a publisher, and then it's also going to lose its power and strength because it's too late. Honestly, it's too late. They keep censoring people, important conversations, like the Italian election. They just fucking censored 23 different fucking candidates. Sorry, that's what Facebook's beauty is. That's what it's supposed to be. The best part about it is that you're supposed to be able to communicate with people that may not be able to find the communication method. And Facebook has always been just a streamlined communication application that allows us to connect in multiple different ways. Think about the phone. The original phone, you could only communicate via voice. People could only hear your voice. And then we have these new technology, which people can see you, they can hear you, they can be in the room with you, basically. You can talk, you can type, you can send pictures, you can send videos, any of that stuff. That's how you can communicate now in this new multimedia communication structure that we have. It's great. But unfortunately, these companies, these legendary companies that are staying in the middle of that, and they're making it harder to communicate. At one point, Facebook made life super freaking convenient to communicate. Now it's taken away its convenience, and now it no longer has relevance in that aspect. And that is the death of Facebook, in my opinion. And all these other tech companies that are doing the same type of censorship, like YouTube and Twitter, they are on the chopping block as well. Of course, they may not die complete deaths. Like MySpace is still a thing somehow, some way, but it's no longer what it used to be. So sure, those things will just fall away into obscurity at some point, but they can't keep going on this trajectory. It's just not sustainable. And I think that majority of the people know this, and I'm pretty sure that Mark Zuckerberg already knows this. He's got a army of analysts who have already probably sounded this alarm, years ago. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see the way it's going. But again, it's because of human corruption that we even get to this point in the first place. It's because of people like Mark Zuckerberg who are in charge of huge behemoths, and that all it takes is his mind to be corrupted in some way for that whole behemoth to speak for him and work his magic. And that's what we're looking at, guys. Ultimately, that is what the issue is. So, that being said, I think this is where I will draw it to a close. Let's talk. Anyway, share me, like me, sub, and I will see you soon. And I love you.